Welcome back for another video. Final video and final thoughts ahead of the Double Gameweek deadline. We're going to answer the biggest questions and talking points sent in this week. And most importantly, Double Gameweek 25 just announced, and then at the end I'll talk about my new plans and my transfer plans this week. So I've just had to re-record pretty much all of this video because of that Double Gameweek announcement, but that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, I've made a graphic here to explain the Double Gameweek, nice and simple, right? Gameweek 25, the doubles are dictated by the League Cup semi-finals. They'll be played on the 5th and the 6th of February, so we don't know before this deadline who will double. If Liverpool knock Spurs out, then Aston Villa and Liverpool will have a Double Gameweek 25, whereas if Spurs knock Liverpool out, then it'll be Fulham and Spurs that have a double in 25. So Liverpool versus Spurs is one leg. The other semi-final leg is Newcastle against Arsenal. If Arsenal can knock Newcastle out, then Chelsea and Arsenal will have a Double Gameweek 25 as well. I've added the percentage likelihoods of each one here based on the bookies' odds. So in a nutshell, Liverpool and Villa have got 62% chance of doubling, Fulham and Spurs 38%. So it's either the first two or the latter two that will have a double. Definitely going to be either of those. Arsenal have got a 16% chance of knocking Newcastle out. Newcastle won't double if they knock Arsenal out though. So right now basically the likeliest outcome is that just Aston Villa and Liverpool have a Double Gameweek in 25. This is massive news though. It's completely changed my chip strategy. I'm going to now be using the assistant manager on slot this week. I mean, the upside of the back-to-back Double Gameweeks is ridiculous, to the point that even if you're on triple Liverpool, I would take a -4 to remove one. And don't forget, the chip's based on how the team performs, so you don't even have to worry about individual players' minutes across the 4 games. Like, make no mistake, Liverpool's schedule is going to be absurd if they knock Spurs out. Salah you'd say is safe, Alisson and Van Dijk are safe, but beyond that it's honestly up in the air. Trent should be safe as well, but you never know. Anyway, in my view, based on this news, the best chip strategy now is the assistant manager on slot this week. If you had your triple captain activated, you can just deactivate it now if you're changing your plan. I know many of you had already brought in triple Liverpool, and I feel for you if that's you. The time of the announcement's pretty last minute, and it's caught so many managers out. First question from Tiller, who asks if Moyes' assistant manager is a good shout for chasing points. So I think the main problem is Liverpool's the only match in their next 3 game weeks that's currently eligible for bonus points. They've got Palace and Man United in game week 25 and 26, and neither of those are 5 places above currently. So what are the projected assistant manager points for game week 24 then? Well, Slot's on 14.5 for this game week and Moyes 11.3. So you're really throwing away a lot of potential points for a bet on Everton getting a result against Liverpool. There's going to be better opportunities for bonus points chasing as well, which we'll cover in this video as well. I would go for Slot if you're using it this week, or save it if you don't have the money. Okay, so final question on the assistant manager, and Banjo Sandwich asked when to play it. Obviously they asked this before the potential Double Gameweek 25 announcement came. But hypothetically, let's say if there's absolutely no way that you can get it active on Slot this week and find the 1.5 mil, what do you do? Well, obviously perhaps you could find the money to use it on Slot next week instead if they double. Beyond that, there's going to be a Double Gameweek in 33 and a Double Gameweek 36. I've made a graphic here using the projected doubles on FPL team. These aren't confirmed yet, these are the predicted doubles for those weeks. So another tactic is Gameweek 31 with the final gameweek taken into the double in 33. Now Palace could have 3 fixtures with bonus points potential, maybe 4. Or Liverpool, they just got a really nice run from Game Week 31. Fulham, then West Ham, then Leicester and Villa. Looking at Game Week 36, Liverpool may double then, but it's not as great as the other runs basically. However, Man City could have a ridiculous run of 3 home games. Wolves home, Southampton away, Villa home and Bournemouth home. And obviously the other thing to note is you might be less inclined to want to triple up on Man City anyway. Like, anyone that uses the chip on Slot this week are sacrificing the 3rd Liverpool player. Like, let's say your double up is Salah and Trent. How many points are lost by not owning Gakpo or Van Dijk, etc.? Now, of course, it does depend on who you own in their place instead. Like, you could have Mateta instead of Gakpo and he does well. But in the case of Man City in the Double Gameweek, you might be less bothered about only having a double up rather than triple up. Obviously, Game Week 36 is a long way away as well, so who knows what they're playing like then. Like, Pep could have turned them around to their best for all we know. As I said earlier though, even if it takes a -4 this week, the upside is worth it to activate on Slot, even a -8 to be honest with you. Now, the one risk you are taking there is if Spurs knock Liverpool out. They're 1-0 up in the League Cup from the first leg, but given Tottenham's situation right now, especially with the injuries, you'd fancy Liverpool to turn it around at Anfield, especially given it's only a 1-0 deficit. NZ FPL asks if Gordon is a sell next game week for Bournemouth mids. Yeah, I can see this being popular, especially because Newcastle went double, but it does depend on what doubles we get in 25. Like if it ends up Villa doubling with Liverpool, then I think people might look towards Rodgers and Watkins, for example, but they do blank in 29, which makes it tricky. From game week 25, Newcastle have got City away, Forest home, Liverpool away, and then West Ham, and then that potential blank game week 29. Whereas Bournemouth have got an amazing run of games, they're playing incredibly well, and they're not going to blank in 29. These are the blank percentages here, by the way, from Ben Crellin. So Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Villa and Liverpool the favourites not to play that week. The date to keep at the back of your head, as I said earlier, is the 6th of February, next Thursday. After then, the League Cup games will all be played, and we'll know Game Week 25's doubles and Game Week 29's blanks. Assuming that Arsenal don't turn it around in the League Cup from the 2-0 loss from the first leg, Newcastle won't play in Game Week 29. So we're going to have to make a call with the likes of Hall, Gordon, maybe even Isak. Therefore, this week some managers are even selling Hall now for an Everton or a Liverpool defender. Everton definitely playing Game Week 29, so they're quite popular for that reason this week, including that double. Some are going Gordon to Mbeumo or a Bournemouth midfielder this week even, because they definitely don't blank either, Brentford or Bournemouth. Well, Gordon is home to Fulham this week, so yeah, it's fine to delay it a week, and then you commit to one player, or maybe go for a doubler. I mean, they've all been amazing recently, the Bournemouth mids. I think Clive would be my number one pick right now, then Dango, then Semenyo. Let's have a quick look at the scout selection for the double game week then. What's the best team this week? They've gone with Pickford in goal, Trent, Hall and Milenkovic in defence, Salah captain, Palmer and Mbeumo and Elanga, Isak, Gakpo and Dye up top. I think they've actually nailed it this week. The only thing I would change is I'd get an Everton defender in for Milenkovic, probably Tarkowski just purely because of his way superior XGI over the other Everton defenders this season. What are the market odds saying then? Well, as far as individual matches, Chelsea against West Ham has actually got the most projected goals with 2.55. And then Liverpool are in second twice with 2.15 for both the Everton and Bournemouth games. It's a bit scary seeing that as someone going into this double game week with just Salah as my attacker, but I guess that's going to be lots of managers now with this double game week 25 announcement. Brentford also have got 2.15 projected goals, which is why Mbeumo is a popular transfer this week as well, despite the single game week for him. So if I combine those clean sheet odds for Liverpool and Everton, Liverpool with a 58% chance of keeping at least one clean sheet, Everton with a 45% chance of keeping at least one. So a short and sweet captaincy ranking, no bronze option this week. I mean, in my view, it's pretty straightforward. Salah's comfortably the best pick. He's literally on record-breaking pace. No one's ever had more points than him at this stage of an FPL season, in FPL's entire history since 2002. I've got Trent as the silver pick here, but I think he's pretty bold in honesty. You're counting on clean sheets in both games really, or one clean sheet and one attack in return, but even then Salah could outscore that. A quick look at the most transfer players then for the double game week. Gakpo's number one with just over 750,000 transfers in. Just thinking out loud looking at that now, I wonder how many managers are buying him as their third and what that's going to do for the assistant manager chip. After Gakpo, it's Kluivert, then it's Ndiaye, Pickford, Mbeumo, Trent, Mykolenko and Luis Diaz. By the way, I know that he's cheaper, but as I said earlier, if I was picking any Everton defender, I'd go for Tarkowski if you've got the extra 0.4 mil. So Wood is the most sold player. I'm actually looking to sell him myself, but it does feel like it's one that could come back to bite me given it's Brighton home for him. After that, the fixtures don't look so great for Forest in fairness. Raul, João Pedro, Gordon, Jackson, Palmer also being sold. I can understand the forwards being sold here, for double game week forwards for example, but Palmer being heavily sold is absolute madness to me. So a quick skim through the press conference headlines. So Slot says that Gomez, Nunez and Jota are all back in training and they're going to be assessed to determine their availability for game week 24. Jota being back is not great news as far as Luis Diaz and Gakpo. Realistically, this weekend might come too soon for Jota, but their second game in the doubles not till the 12th of February. They do have Plymouth in the FA Cup just before that though, which might be where Slot looks to use Gomez, Nunez and Jota. Maresca says he's yet to decide whether Sanchez will start in goal on Monday. Now, a word of warning here if he's your keeper, there is a chance that Jurgensen comes in, given Sanchez's recent form. So after that mistake in the City match, no keeper's made more mistakes leading to goals this season than Sanchez. Fulkrug's still out for West Ham, as is Somerville, but Potter's hopeful that Bowen could be fit. Now Bowen could be a handy pick for blank game week 29, perhaps from game week 27 onwards when they've got Leicester home, one to keep an eye on. Lastly, Marco Silva said Wilson's out for around 10 weeks, and a word of warning on Castagna if you've got him. He revealed that the club wants to sign a new right back. They don't have long before the window closes, but it's also one to keep an eye on if you've got him. Tete's still not back for I think a couple of months, maybe 6 weeks. If there's any other important updates, I'll pin them in the comment below. So moving on to finish up with my team for Double Gameweek 24, transfer plans, and of course the assistant manager plans. One transfer made already, which was Gordon to Mbumo. So the team is Raya in goal, it's Gabriel, Cole and Trent in defence, Bruno, Salah, Palmer, Semenyo and Mbumo in midfield, Wood and Isak up top. So yeah, Mbumo's joined the team already. I decided to catch the price rise. I think I might have done that anyway, even if the announcement had come yesterday. And I've got 2 more free transfers, 0.1 mil in the bank. So yeah, my plans completely changed now the assistant managers 100% being activated. Before the plan was to buy Visser and Van Dijk it was. But I just need to work out now how to free up the 1.5 mil needed to buy Slot. So the current plan is Wood to Ndai and Munoz to Mikalenko using 2 free transfers. This happens to leave me with exactly 1.5 mil in the bank, which is required to buy Slot. So that might be the one. Not ideal selling Munoz. He does have Man United away, so I wasn't going to play him this week. But he is likely to blank in Gameweek 29 as well, whereas Mikalenko won't. I need to decide tonight what I'm doing, because Wood looks almost certain to fall in price, and I can't take a price fall, otherwise I'm priced out. So I might just do that one move and die in, and then leave the second transfer for the morning, given that Mikalenko and Munoz aren't near a price change. Obviously, if Spurs do end up knocking Liverpool out the League Cup, then so be it. It's not the end of the world to get this double, plus I'd still have 5 doubles for Double Gameweek 24. But the odds are in Liverpool's favour to progress to the final. And the upside of potentially having the assistant manager chip active for back-to-back double game weeks is massive, let alone for the best team in the league as well. Good luck this game week everyone, hope you all smash it. Hit subscribe if you're not already, we're going to be live right here for a deadline stream, 9 AM UK time as well. See you all then.